It was a man with a hammer who invented the weed. We built the house we live in, my automobile. He can fix what we break, he can make what we need. A man with a hammer is a mighty fine thing to be.
Hello, my name is Keith Kelley. I teach integrated technology in Nokomis Regional Middle School here in Maine. I teach 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Today I'm going to talk to you about my stem to strings program. Basically, we're harvesting and processing our own wood from our own trees, milling them into their blanks, using CNC to cut our own bodies, and then to build guitars so that we can build them with our kids at the younger levels or at the higher levels, depending on what they would like. I'm going to talk to you about the timeline of stem to strings just because it kind of explains some of the processing that has happened to it. Basically, in 2018, I went to a training with the guitar building organization and learned the basics of building of the basic guitars to bring back to my school. In 2019, I started and I had 5th graders all the way through 12th graders building, and anywhere from base economy kits to the complete where they have to glue the necks and all of that. I actually did that so that I could kind of see what levels could do what. And also the older kids who got trained so they could turn around and help with the younger kids. So I did the harder builds with them first, and then we went and did the easier builds with the younger kids as well. And I could see, could a 5th grader handle what grades and what level each one could do. And then 2020 hit, and well, you guys know what 2020 hit. 2020 hit, and I was ready to kind of expand my program and kind of go to the next level. But with everything happening, I ended up having to create an online blog and basically let the kids, if they wanted to, a handful, select kids could build kits, but virtually. So they had the kit at home, and then their parents had to work with them, or some of the adults, and then they had to build the kit from videos. And I did a training video on each step, on the painting and the finishing and the sanding and the assembly and all of that. And then this year, a lot of them came in and we finished them basically here. Then, so I'm trying to get some of the momentum back, but the next year, 2021, we came back, but they didn't have me come back in an integrated technology teaching position. So I was teaching 6th grade social studies, and with the cohorts, I couldn't offer it to the school, but I was able to offer it to a small group within it. It ended up being 6th grade, about 13, 14 students, actually a large group of girls. And we were able to come down and they were able to build guitars. So we were able to still kind of do it, but in just a different way. I wasn't able to offer it to the whole school. In 2022, we're back, and now I can offer it to the whole school. Actually, we have COVID funding, so we're offering it as an after-school activity. Kids are coming down and 2 days a week, and there's a bus provided in their building. I did offer it to more 8th graders and 7th because they haven't had stuff for 2 years, and the younger kids will be able to, but I end up having a few 5th graders. And I did offer it to the oldest kids that are graduating if they missed out, just to offer them. Next year, I'll kind of go back to more of older rotation to see who, to get them to it. And again, get the older kids trained to help the younger kids do that. And we're going to try to get to the point where we're adding the levels where we have the entry level economy kit versus the harder where you actually do the whole neck and do the whole body and all that. So I'm trying to add that in. In that, I was able to get some grant money and some funding. And so I'm adding, starting this year and for next year and the year on, where we're going to actually be cutting our own bodies, cutting our own trees, processing the trees, using our mill, and then actually producing bodies for our own guitars to that with our own CNC machine. And in the actually be able to design the shapes in the guitars and all of that. And that's kind of 2004. And it'll keep building up as we go. And that's the plan, but I wanted you to know kind of the progression that you could see. Basically, if you think of my concept of my program, it's a makers. So manufacture, apply your knowledge through your effort, and then redo it, reiteration, try to do it again, try to make it better, try to do it over and over again. And the guitar program kind of fits it pretty well. And what I also noticed with the guitars, it's doing cross curriculum. So just like my skateboards, they can paint it in art. They can learn to play it in music. They can do some in their math, some measurements and some assembly and things of that nature. So it's kind of a great crossover. As I said, I teach at Nokomis Regional Middle School. We're 7 towns in Maine, in rural Maine. We just built a brand new middle school, high school, actually 2019. Half the school came online, the middle school. We closed 4 elementaries and moved some of the elementary kids to our two middle schools, and those middle schools merged into this middle school. The left side is the middle school, the right side is the high school. 2019, we moved just into the middle school. High school did not move in because the old high school is across the street. We were halfway through the year, and then we were out we all went virtual then. So this is really the first year that we're all back in the school and getting set up with our program. But what's really interesting about our property is we literally are surrounded by woods and trees and lots. So we have a lot of access to raw material just around us, and someone has gone and given us a 117-acre lot. They've donated it to the school. It's about maybe 20 minutes from the school, not very far away at all. We're in the process of making this basically an outdoor classroom, literally a classroom where we bring the kids and we take them outside, and they might do their language program in there. They might do some science, any type of thing. And we're actually in the process of, we have a forester and the kids are in helping, where we're identifying the zones of the lots. This lot has some softwood areas, has some swampy areas, has some hardwood areas, has an old house lot on it, some cedar areas, has an old apple orchard. We're in the process of identifying everything and then kind of figuring out how to manage it. We have an interesting opportunity with this. Most of the time, people are managing lots to either for commercial, to get your wood off, or they're managing these lots to go and produce, for tax purposes, that type of thing. Well, we can have a really long-term approach. So we can really look into picking some hardwoods or some specific things we'd like to print, or some areas we want to create around this wood lot that we have. Right now, the science class is working with that. We're also doing some biodiversity. One of our science teachers used to work for the state of Maine, dealing with deer populations, things of that nature. So we're in that process too, not only just doing it for the wood, but also how do you conserve it and harvest it efficiently, and also for the management of the animals as well. A lot of our kids, their parents are working in wood and in that industry, so it's kind of ties right into it. And this connects not only with our science, but our maths, our alternative ed program, and all programs within the school. And it's kind of an interesting thing to create something from raw material, from stem to string, so basically right from the tree all the way through. It's a rare chance that actually happens, and actually something we're going to be creating a functioning piece of art when we're done as we go through. And we're in the middle of some of the processes as we speak. Our alternative ed kids are the ones kind of going to be involved with harvesting the wood, cutting it down, jigging it out of the forest, getting it out of the woods. Our high school classes are going to be more, high school science can be more involved with the conservation and deciding how is that managed as well. And again, we have Maine foresters that are helping us as we speak. I got a grant. We spent about $4,000, and we have a wood processor, a basic entry-level base processor, a wood miser that we purchased. Some of the reason we did that is connection through kids that family members or work for them. We wanted an entry level. We could have got bigger ones, but what we need is very simple. And then also talking about safety, basically. The higher levels up you go, you end up getting more portability, bigger woods, more hydraulics to be able to pick things up. What we're going to be doing scale-wise is not a huge thing. The grant I got from Maine Agriculture is the grant that provided for this. And actually next year it's providing for a kiln shed that I'll talk about in a little bit. Basically, the kids, we're cutting the trees, they're milling them down to the different sizes that we want, and then we're creating our materials. We'll be creating some billets in pieces so that we can, waste not, want not, we can go and mill the woods down to what we want. We're also going to go and we're going to actually produce lumber, boards and stuff for ourselves too as well. Some of my kids they're going to be in the process of making kit builds, so sheds, mini greenhouses, so that the CNC, we cut all the holes and it can just go there. But we're in the process of creating that product. What's cool is every year we'll have a new workforce, a new grade, and then we'll every year produce the wood. So to a point where 1 year is producing 2 years from now use. We're in that process as well. We also are trying to connect to some local businesses, and we're doing value added and talking about their waste flow. We have some local business, Dovetail Bats. They make bats for Major League Baseball. Actually, the guy who won the home run derby hit with a dovetail bat. And they use hard maple. What's interesting is when they cut their trees, they're using about 75%. When they're coming out with their trees, they'll have knots and things of that nature in them. So what happens is once you have the knot, they can't go and sell that material. So you can see what happens is they end up with a waste flow. Either it becomes firewood. They do tons of that stuff with firewoods, or we can kind of pull it out of the waste stream, and we can get these billets or these actually bats that sometimes aren't good, and we can bring them and cut them up and use them in those. And some of them are actually, they have a kiln dried unit as well, so we can get them already in the drying process. So I'm using that to supplement the mill to start with, but then there's a point where we shouldn't have to, because we'll have our own dry stuff. But also too, sometimes I want to get their waste flow out of the waste, they're doing a lot of processing and they're just going to become firewood. So between the Vogue Tech schools and my program and other schools, we can create a flow of raw material and for that company that gets them, so they kind of in essence get reimbursed for that stuff they're doing, drying and all that then they can't use it because it's bad wood or twisted or knotted. And so we can use it. There's no problem with us. We can break it into the pieces and split it up because we have a workforce. And there's quite a lot of different raw materials that are left over. And it's not just dovetail bats. We have Bickfirth, which is a drumstick maker, literally is 10 minutes away from my school. There's actually a door making company that we've connected to that has barrels of pieces of wood, and they're using exotic pieces, so mahoganies and some cedars and some stuff like that all in pieces that they can't use. So we're acquiring that. And again, we can cut it up and mix it in with ours as well. And a lot of that stuff is already dried and everything. So it's a good way to get going. We're in the process this is the second half of the grant. We've got the first half, we've got the mill, and we're in the process of the trees and cutting them and up. We're going to be building a kiln dried shed, where it's like I'm solar paneled, and I'm probably going to end up building a couple of these so they're right up the school, and we can leave wood there to dry. And we have some spacing that we can do too as well for our drying features. So we're in that will be next year's building project. So what happens is we'll take these billets. The good thing at school, you have labor force. So the kid is using the bandsaw and splitting it into the pieces for the gluability to then glue it into our blanks. And then we'll go and then we have to do some cutting of it, some assembly of it, cleaning it up, that type of thing, using the planer to, level it all out for ourselves. So we have a really good solid square piece that can go into our CNC machine. And then our machine, it will be cutting out our pieces. And then the cool thing is the kids are going to get a chance to pick out different body shapes, different body size, things of that nature that they would want to do. Then when we have that final body assembly, we have a couple things that we can do. We can have some of the CNC, the drill can do it. We also have the laser for some of the cutting. And we also have some hand drilling and hand cutting that can be done by the kids for prepping it. So it's kind of a mix. So we have basically an assembly line. This hasn't happened right yet. We have done some to it, but I'm hoping that with our billets, we can do our own necks. And then I'll have the kids doing that basic manufacturing around assembling a neck. And you kind of have those, I kind of look at it as 3 levels. We have that economy kit that everything's there. You have that kit where the neck's done, but we're doing the body. And then that ultimate where we're actually doing the necks and the body, everything top to bottom. Or we can have a kid that has to do it. I've had 3 seniors do senior projects around guitars as well. And then this is the middle school kids, and this is different variations where I have, but now the kids can have the chance. And this is something some of you guys have already done, the design, the cutting. I have a club going on right now where they're doing their drilling, and we're using the economy kits, the base kits, and they're doing all the assembly, sanding, and using the different tools. And then they're deciding their design, the painting, whether it's dip painting. We have some that stain, some that have inked, some that have hand painted. We're actually just in the process of starting to add the laser so that they can do some laser engraving, that type of stuff if they would like. And then, the assembly and the soldering and all of that. And again, these are the entry-level kits that the kids have. And then when they were all done, the cool thing is what started to happen, and kind of the delay in 2020 kind of threw it off, because I had the momentum. The other kids purposely make sure these are all out to see. We'll do some of the stuff, the design stuff outside, some of the drawing time outside, so the other class gets a chance to see it. And you can see all these different guitars that have been made so far. And there's even a whole nother class set almost done right now with the club. And these are anywhere from seniors, one or two have actually graduated, all the way down to fifth graders. So it's quite an eclectic group, and that's starting to pass on to other kids. I have had kids, there's a mixture of some of these. I've gotten some grants for to be donated so the kids can build off a grant if they can't afford it. A lot of kids will pay half the cost, so they have some skin in the game. I do the same thing with skateboards. And I actually have some parents that say, oh, I'll buy another kit. I've got another grant that I'm teaching some teachers, kind of like Sean and the crew have done for me, where I went to that 2018. So I'll be this summer and some of these kids are coming in to help, and we're going to be training some teachers on how to build one of these base kits, and then they get 2 kits to take with them back to their school. And again, we're trying to build it up. Thing that I would love to have happen is I would love to have the program go and actually end up where we could actually produce some raw material, some raw guitar bodies for people, so they would just have to either do the necks or get the basic components to it, so that it would go just from our school and could go out there. Because I find that no one doesn't want to do the guitars. No one doesn't think that doing the guitars is a bad idea. What they do have is it's that price point, that entry level. That's like, so getting them more involved that way. And I think I'm trying to kind of flip how we do it. So I think if I do it from top to bottom and I get all the way through, that I'll have a chance to create the program that I'm looking for. I'm kind of in the middle of it. Some stuff, supply chain has caused some issues where, it took us longer to get the mill, where the CNC is taking longer to get set up, getting someone to do it, that type of thing. But we're kind of right in the middle of creating our raw material. And again, I'm having to use other raw material as well. And so I'm Keith Kelley. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. They will provide the information, and you can ask questions after watching. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.
It was a man with a hammer who invented the weed. Built the house we live in, my automobile. He can fix what we break, he can make what we need. A man with a hammer is a mighty fine thing to be.